Should professionals be creating digital content? So last week we talked about all the negative perceptions about creating content. This week we're going to be talking about all the perks and all the benefits of being a content creator as a professional. So Abdul, why don't you take it away? What's the first benefit that you can think of by creating content?
I think one of the most important things as professionals that they all want to do is build that credibility, build that authority, kind of show to the world essentially that they're an expert in their field. And I think one of the easiest and best ways to do it is content creation. Mm-hmm. It allows you to kind of show your community, show the people you're interacting with how much you know about the field, what you're talking about, your level of expertise, your credibility. And I think it's one of those things that tend to stand out, right? LinkedIn, it's always the same old few people that are sharing their thoughts, sharing their ideas, they're engaging. And then you're like, hey, wait a minute. From a health tech point of view, like I already know these are the profiles of these people that seem to be the industry leaders. So when I do have a question or even when I have an opportunity, they're the people I go to first.
Exactly. So I think developing that authority, developing that expert front face essentially is something that you develop through content creation. And the reason you develop it is because it's not easy to do that, by the way. It's not easy because you can't just sit there and faff around about whatever industry you're going to talk about, right? You're often going to be researching. You're going to be looking into those trends, those market data. You're going to be doing some sort of analysis. So naturally, what you are going to be doing is you are actually going to be an industry expert, a leader, someone who's got authority because you're doing all the work. It's just a way of you also marketing that you're doing the work, right? So coming on straight onto the second perk from the back of that is personal branding. So personal branding, people again think it's very cringe, this term, but then again, let me just use another word, your reputation. It's just that in this digital world that we live in, everyone is on the internet, right? So what you put out there, what you create naturally creates a reputation for you. We talked about this in another video, right? About how you can't really avoid personal branding because the truth is someone's going to have a narrative for you, and content creation is a way of you taking control of that narrative. So we've banged on about personal branding in loads and loads of videos, but what's the key thing that you want to give our viewers in this video about personal branding in 2023?
I think personal branding, let's niche it down, specific to professionals is what gives you that added edge. It allows you to be open to opportunities that are not otherwise available to everyone else in your space, right? So we live in a very competitive world, maybe hyper competitive in the world of bankers, doctors, lawyers, right? Your personal brand, your story, your reputation is what lets you open to those opportunities because everyone wants to excel in their careers, everyone wants to excel in their jobs, right? So it's the easiest way to build on it.
Exactly. And so if we combine those two now, right? Being someone who's an industry expert, understands the data out there, understands the markets out there, and someone who's got a great personal brand, it does the thing that everyone talks about, which is creates a massive surface area of opportunity, of leads. What does that mean actually? Break that down for us.
So this is more for professionals that may be a bit more senior or have kind of worked their way through. So lead generation, let's say from someone that's, doing coaching or some sort of services, is how do you get more people discovering what you're doing? How do you get them to then convert and pay for a service, pay for a coaching session? Or in the way of a career is how do you get your seniors to recognize you? How do you get that promotion? How do you get the opportunity to lead on that deal, right? Or that negotiation? So content creation, it allows you put yourself out there. It shows who you are. This is your field. You're an expert in it. You have the credibility. And me as a customer, me as a client, me as a company, or me as a manager, when I'm looking to recruit or employ someone, I'm going to go straight to that person who I think is an industry expert, who engages well with the community, who I know has a good understanding of their profession.
Exactly. I always say this to some people. I say, imagine walking into an interview and the person who's about to interview knows everything about you. Is someone who avidly consumes your content, reads about your insights that you post, reads about your analysis of the market, or reads about your healthcare content that you post, right? Or imagine even, the truth is, a lot of doctors on social media now, imagine your patient sees your content that you're putting out, really great, accurate health content, right? And then they come into your clinic. They trust you already. You've already won them over. So if you start to talk about exercise, about diet, you don't have to work as hard because you've got a rapport with them already. Or if you're in an interview with a consulting firm, that manager already knows you. They already know how much you know about the markets or about how good you are at developing client relationships, right? So when we talk about leads, I love it how you broke it down into, it's not just leads, it's about opportunity, it's about recruitment, it's about businesses coming to you for consulting, right? That all of those things come together. And then the next point, okay? So the next point is that we can't, I really don't like it when people don't want to talk about this particular point, right? The idea of money, okay? Unfortunately, the world isn't free. We all have some sort of bill to pay, okay? To put the roof over our head, to put food on the table. So we shouldn't shy away from talking about this topic, okay? Because I think every single person who creates content has that tiny little bit inside them that they're gonna earn some money from something. Be it a ebook that they generate, be it from YouTube videos and AdSense revenue from Google, be it from coaching people, or being it from being a consultant, right? Maybe startups, because you're really good at in the startup space, you've made yourself available for hourly coaching for the founders, right? Talk to us a little bit about making money as a content creator.
So I think content creation and earning money from your content and turning that into an additional source of income or revenue stream go hand in hand. Naturally, if you are a good content creator, you're putting a lot of value in the world, opportunities will arise for you to earn money. Maybe the term passive income isn't the right thing because you do need to work for it, you do need to build a brand and audience and a distribution. But I think it's incredible to now unlock an additional source of income, right? I think a lot of concern, a lot of things for professionals is they have a lot of worry due to financial stress, right? Imagine creating content and unlocking this new stream of income where you're, hey, do you know what? That pays for my coffee, that pays for my lunch, right? One of the biggest worries financial professionals face is paying the mortgage, paying the bills, paying the rent, right? Yeah. And I think it should be embraced. And you know what? I spoke to a creator the other day who's a senior consultant, and what they said is they don't even care about the money. They like the fact that they earn money. Why? Because they give it to charity of their choice.
It's like that whole meme that we've seen, right? So investment bankers, this is to you guys probably. You're probably sitting on like $500,000 bonus, etc. You're probably saying, the money, I'm not interested in the money, right? But let me tell you now, the money you earn from something that you've done is very different to the salary you're paid. If you don't believe me, just try it. Just try it. So talking about money and moving on now, okay? About the advantages that you get in the landscape in general. Okay, the competitive advantage you get wherever you walk. Talk to us about that now. So say I've created content in the startup space, in the VC space, in the investment banking space, right? What's the competitive advantages that you get? First of all, why do we need a competitive advantage in 2023? Why do you need it?
I think the caliber of people in the world, talking about junior doctors, bankers, lawyers, accountants, it's so high. Everyone brings so much more to the table. Right? You think you know how to play violin, the guy next to you knows how to play a violin, piano, and a guitar, right?
In front of a camera.
In front of a camera, right? Like, people are so competitive. People have achieved so much at such a young age compared to when we got into medical school, right? So now, if you really... And so we're advocates of becoming the best of the best, right? Becoming, pioneers and leaders in your profession, whatever it may be. You now need to think of ways of differentiating yourself. You can't do the things that everyone's done, right? A lot of people have worked in the same companies, the same banks, the top 4 Google. Everyone's got that on their CV. Whereas you need to see how the world is changing. Content creation, building a brand online is what seems to be the trend that's increasing. It's what allows you to differentiate from people. So you might as well jump on it now. And I think we mentioned before in the previous video, it's time in the game, right? You need to be in the content game to build that reputation, to build that credibility, to get people to know, hey, do you know what? Am's a startup guy. He likes education. He likes creator economy. So it allows you to do something that differentiates you from the rest.
Exactly. And talking about differentiation now, brings us on to the next point, which is that it also embeds you in the community you belong, right? So a lot of us, right, a lot of us as humans, right, we'll have a job that we like, hopefully, right? But naturally, we've got that sort of expressive flair within us, that creator inside of us. I genuinely believe that, right? So if you're a creator, what you'll find is that you'll then come across people who share the same passions, right? You might be someone who's super enthusiastic about the cryptocurrency space, right? So you want to come across people who are also enthused by that industry, by that space, right? So you can talk about it. So you can also share your findings, right? So you'll find that you naturally find your community, your tribe, but also you build your community, right? People who sort of consume from you, who want to learn from you, right? And you learn from them too. So I think community is a massive thing. What have you got to say on the community front?
So I think a lot of people, they go through life without really finding their tribe. They go through life not really finding that group of people that they resonate with, that have similar interests. And I think it's a shame. And maybe they discover it and you realize, oh wow, there's other people in the world like me, that think like me, that have the same values and morals like me. And I think content creation is the easiest way to find your tribe, your community. Why? Because your content will be consumed by people that resonate with you, that have similar interests. You then bounce ideas off them. You then feel this sense of belonging, right? And like you said, we're all social creatures, right?
Exactly. I think the next point now is all about investment, right? It's all about investment. We're talking about doing something that challenges you in so many different ways, right? When you become a content creator, or when you content create, let's say that instead. I think content creator, people are like, oh, I'm not a content creator, I'm a lawyer, I'm a banker, I'm a doctor. But you're going to also create content, okay? So when you create content, I think one of the most powerful things that it drives you to learn, right, is communication, right? It teaches you how to write, how to research, how to convey a message so that the person understands, right? Is, for example, you have language that might be quite complex from the studies out there. Let's say as doctors, you're reading the New England Journal of Medicine, right? Very complex. But to turn that into a video for the public, now that's a challenge. But if you can do that, just how good is your communication skills? That means you are absolutely excellent in that area, right? And then let's not forget the technical skills, the editing skills, being able to use software, being able to research even, right? Being able to do all those various things that involve you creating content, right? And you're naturally going to get better and better and better. So if you do in the future, say go for that Goldman Sachs interview, right? What if that person's been reading your content? What if they love the fact that you're taking, let's say, market data, interpreting that for the average layman, and you're putting it out there on YouTube or through a newsletter or through articles on Peerr, right? What would that person think, right? What do you think about it?
I definitely feel that it increases your toolkit and the skills in it. And what does that mean? When you embark on this journey of creating content, it becomes so much more than, writing a blog and article. You learn skills that have innate benefits to your career, to your life, right? You learn how to design. You learn how to market yourself. You learn how to do an appealing one-liner so that your audience reads the rest of the article or blog, or they watch your videos. And these skills are what help you in your day-to-day job as well, right? Client meetings, negotiations. You learn the art of selling. You learn the art of design. Imagine you learn how to do content creation, you created a thumbnail, and you have this presentation at work where you need to impress your bosses. Imagine the presentation you can design, because now you're leveraging those design skills you learned.
So there you have it, all the perks of being a content creator. And remember, as I've said it before and I'll say it again now, everyone in the future will have a career and will also be a content creator. So in the next video, we're going to be talking about how you can get started as a content creator. See you next week.